Hi guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Kyle the Giant, and today we're going to be talking about the Berserker class, or as I should really call it, the Barbarian class for PvP in Diablo 4. So without dragging this intro out, I just want to give you guys a big thank you for all the support. You guys really are loving these videos. They're doing really good on my channel, so I'm going to keep bringing them to you. And like I said, today we're talking about Barbarian, so let's get into it. Now, for the core skill for Barbarian, or not the core skill, but the basic skill, I chose Bash, and the reason why I chose Bash is I feel like Lunging Strike would be cool, but I don't really need another lunge ability. I just want kind of a guaranteed ability that I can just get a stun. I can get a guaranteed CC with this ability, and we're going to be using two-handed weapons with this setup. And again, damaging a stunned enemy with Bash grants you 10% of your base life as Fortify, which again, Fortify is going to come in handy later to give us increased damage with some of the passives that we have. And then right here, damaging a stunned enemy with Bash generates an additional 3 to 4 Fury. I chose this one just to kind of build into the sustain of the class. We have a lot of sustain with this setup, and you're going to see as we go. Now, this is, of course, excluding legendary aspects, legendary gear, uniques, things of that nature. And the reason why I didn't really go in depth into that area for this game is because the goal of this video is just to really show you guys skills you should consider taking into PvP when making your build. So for me right now, this is just my opinion of what I would start a PvP Barbarian, and then from testing and seeing how all these things work in game when the game goes live, then I would take out skills and use them. But for right now, from looking, that's the skill I'm going to go with for basic. And as we're going through this tree, I just want you guys to think of that as we're going through this. Okay, could this skill be good? Could it not be good? And in the comment section down below, let me know if you agree with some of the decisions I chose over other skills. And if you disagree, let me know. I would love to hear it. Now, going into our core skill, we're going to go with Hammer of the Ancients. Reason why I'm going with Hammer of the Ancients is two reasons. It does very good in PvE, and you have to remember in Fields of Hatred, we're going to be fighting PvE, so you don't know if you're in a 1v1 situation, a 1vx situation, and somebody decides to kite you into a group of ads. You need a way to deal with them and kill them quickly, and this ability is amazing. Also, another reason why I really like this ability is because it gets increased damage just based off your Fury. And again, we have so much Fury regeneration. You guys are going to see there's going to be a combo that we can do that we're going to get 60 Fury immediately. So this is just super good. It's going to scale with damage, and I like skills that are kind of consistent. We're going to get this skill is always going to have damage uptime, so it's always going to have increased DPS. And then gain 3% more Fury for 5 seconds each time an enemy is damaged by it, up to 10. So again, you slam this down, you get some back. So this is just adding, like I said, on top of the resource sustain. The goal with these skills and passives that I chose is really to focus more on sustain and survivability versus damage, because I believe the Barbarian, the reason why it's S tier and for PvP specifically, is because I think it's going to be able to outlast and annoy the hell out of their opponents that they fight. And I'm going to show you how annoying this class is going to get a little bit later. Now, for our defensive skills, I went with Rallying Cry. And I chose this for a few reasons. One, the obvious, it's going to give you movement speed buff, and it's going to give you resource regen. And then we also get Unstoppable. So I think the ability to get guaranteed CC immunity is very important for PvP. And then this one right here, Rallying Cry gets you 10% base life as Fortify. So again, this right here is like what is going to make this so good, because I'll show you later as we keep going down the skill tree. I've turned Rallying Cry into a movement speed buff, a resource regeneration buff, a damage resistance buff, or damage increase buff, and a heal all at once. And you guys are going to see that as we keep going down to the passives. And then right here again, 50% maximum life. Again, this class is all about being tanky and like just being able to sustain and survive. The sustainability on this class is wild. And this 15% maximum life is just going to feed into the identity of the Barbarian. It's just to be just a tank, a menace, an unstoppable force on the field. And 15% health, just to kind of break it into like simple math, guys. If you have 1,000 HP, you have 15% more health. You just gain 150 more hit points. That could be the difference between you getting hit 1 or 2 extra times. It could be. Remember, it could. I'm not saying it will. It could. We don't know how everything's going to work in live action in terms of how hard you're going to get hit. Now, definitely with the amount of points we've spent, we have the ability to go into the gear and skills. So like I said here, I didn't pick any of this stuff because, again, guys, I don't really want to try to make a build right now, because the realistic thing is when we get into the game, some of the stuff we're going to want, we're going to have to find. So I don't want to sit here and make a build and you guys are stressing about, oh my god, I need to find this aspect, I need to find this. Like I said, the goal of this video is just to show you guys skills you should consider taking into PvP, and then when you guys play the game, have fun and experiment on your own. Later on, when the game actually releases, guys, I will make you a legitimate build for the Barbarian. I just think it's silly right now to make a PvP build for the game when there is no PvP out right now. So for the technique, we're going to go with two-handed sword. And the reason why we're going to two-handed sword is because this is going to cause bleed with any direct damage ability. And we have 4 of these abilities, technically 5. We have 5 damaging abilities, so we have 5 opportunities to cause bleeding damage. Now, again, you're not really using it for the damage. This is just nice dot damage that's going to get applied. But if we go back to the skill tree and we come down to here, we're going to skip right here. This passive right here, hamstring. Your bleed affects slow enemies for 10%. So again, every time we hit somebody, guys, we are going to be slowing them down. That is how OP this setup is going to be. And we actually have benefits from attacking slowed enemies. So everything that we do, guys, is going to slow our opponent down and it's going to cause them bleed. I'm telling you guys right now, Barbarian in PvP is going to be so toxic. You guys are going to break your controllers, break your keypads, punch your screens. I am telling you right now, this class is going to be a menace. And that setup alone makes this class S tier for PvP. If you guys think I'm wrong, go down in the comment section and debate me. Now let's get back up to here into the brawling skill line. So we went with Leap as our gap closer. I think Leap is just better than Charge for PvP because you kind of take out variables. Like, you mitigate the variable option, right? Like, Charge really only works with terrain, so it's very good if you're fighting in close quarters, but if you're out in the open field, Leap is better. And you can also use Leap as like an escape ability as well. So you can use it offensively and defensively. Another reason why we're using it is because Leap, if we hit somebody, we gain 40 Fury. Now, the reason why I didn't go with the slow option is because we're going to be causing bleed. And by having the two-handed sword, our Leap is already going to slow people down. You see how this is all synergizing together to make our enemies slowed and to also help us keep our sustain going. The other passive here, if Leap doesn't damage any enemy, its cooldown is reduced. So again, like I said, you can use this defensively. If you're getting beat up and you need to reposition, you just quickly Leap, double dash, and get out of there. We're also going to go with the 15% movement speed because I think you should always want to prioritize being able to be fast in PvP. Even as a Barbarian, I think a Barbarian running like at 30 miles an hour is pretty scary, seeing that on the field. So I would go with Swiftness. You don't have to go with Swiftness. You can change this out with anything you guys want to switch. And then we went with Booming Voice, increase our shout duration. I think this is really worth only... You either put 1 point in here or 3. And the reason why I say that is because you have to put at least 3 to get the extra second out of it. So, but we only went with 1 point right now because we really want this. Now, your shouts also heal allies for 3% of their missing maximum life. This works with Rallying Cry. So again, and this works on you, not just allies, it works for you as well. So now, you have increased movement speed. You have increased resource regeneration. You have Unstoppable, and you have Heal. Okay? All with one ability, and you gaining Fortify. So you see how we just turn one ability into like a god tier ability with just a few passives. That's it. Now, to get down into here, this is where it's going to get interesting. There's a lot of good choices here, but I even considered Steel Grasp. I think Steel Grasp is cool. I don't think this is bad at all. I think this ability right here made for PvP. There's no doubt in my mind that whoever on the dev team was working on Diablo for Barbarian did not think that this is a PvP skill, because this is a PvP skill all the way. You are not using this in PvE. I'm sorry. This is PvP all the way. So like I said earlier, 1 point in hamstring to cause bleed, because our sword, our technique gives bleed to all attacks. Now, Death Blow. This is going to be our weapon mastery skill. And the reason why I think you should prioritize this is not for the simple fact that, it does a lot of damage, but you should have this used to create your burst. So I would use this skill when you get your opponent to an injured stage where you know you have them in one shot. This is the mindset you want to have when using this. Excuse me. You don't want to be spamming this. Although, to be fair, because it doesn't cost you any like fury, I probably would spam it. Like if I had it up, I would attack with it. You know. But at the same time, I would save this. I would do my best to save it in an extra. If you're winning a fight against somebody and you're really beating them down, save it. Don't use it. Save it. It's tempting, but just use it to get them weak. And I'm gonna explain kind of the burst combo that you really want to do with this. So typically, you're gonna be beating up your opponent with these two abilities, right? I would recommend. I'd recommend going into a rallying cry, because with rallying cry you're gonna get fortify, you're gonna get the movement speed, you're gonna heal. But on top of that, guys, right here, you're gonna get fortified for getting damaged. Again, that's gonna happen a lot in PvP. And increase your damage reduction gained while you are fortified. Again, we're not really using this for that, but like I said, this is gonna give us damage reduction right here because we get fortified. So you see, so technically, rallying cry just turned into a movement speed, resource, unstoppable, damage increase, heal, and damage reduction. You have 6 different effects going on you at once with one ability, guys. One ability is giving you 6 effects. That is why Barb is going to be S tier. Now, this is where it gets interesting. While you have fortified over 50%, you deal 12% increased damage. So this is what I'm talking about in terms of building up that burst setup to beat your opponent down. So you're going to be getting hit. You're going to be building fortify. There's many ways to get fortify, as we went over earlier. But once you pop rallying cry, boom, you are going to get 10% fortify immediately. So if you're paying attention to your fortify bar, you can set this up to create your burst. You're going to go into a leap, right, to gain 40 fury. You're going to hit them with the death blow. Okay, death blow is going to give you 20 fury. And then you're going to hit them with Hammer of the Ancients if death blow doesn't kill them. And hopefully this kills them. Hopefully this kind of trio setup gets you the kill. And not to mention, we even get over here to talk about the extra damage buffs that we're getting. So deal 9% increased damage to close enemies and 6% damage reduction from distant enemies. Again, this is a must-have passive, guys. Please. It's like I say all the time, don't listen to content creators when they tell you to use stuff. I would always recommend taking the information they take into advice, but I'm gonna be a hypocrite right here, and I'm gonna tell you, get Pit Fighter passive. It is worth it. 9% increased damage to close enemies and a damage reduction passive at the same time. This passive will always be up in either range or close. So always up. Now these last 3, this is kind of where you can play with and pick what you really want. You deal 8% increased damage to injured enemies. Again, you could stack more into this and maybe take points out of here if you want, because this is more based off fortify. This is kind of like more of like the gambling area. This is you can use this on injured, but I like this because you can kind of keep all these up a majority of the time. This is very situational. They have to be weak. But I would recommend putting a point into here because this is going to increase your damage for this. Like I said, you want to use death blow when they're weak, because this is the execute ability. Getting into right here, 6% increased critical strike chance against immobilized or stunned enemies. Again, like I said, with the two-handed passive, with the technique, we're going to always cause people to bleed, which is always going to cause people to be slowed. So we are always going to have 6% crit chance against anybody we fight. Remember this. You're always going to have this up. Always, always, always. Now, dealing direct damage with a weapon mastery skill causes your next core skill to make enemies vulnerable. Again, this is what I'm talking about, is setting yourself up to do the burst. So you're going to rallying cry to get the increase in damage, right? Because you have fortify, and you're going to get that 12%. And then you're going to obviously have this 9% increase plus this 8%. So you're looking at, if my math is right, what is that? 29% increased damage because they're close, they're injured, and you're fortified. You're going to leap in, right? You're going to gain the 40 fury. You're going to hit them with a death blow. Hopefully they're either died or they're close to death. You're going to gain 20 fury from the death blow attack, which with this combo, with the rallying cry going on, with getting your resource regeneration, you will have enough for Hammer of the Ancients. And then boom, you hit them with the Hammer of the Ancients. They are now vulnerable. And hopefully, if you're lucky, you might have enough to hit it again. If you don't, you can follow up with a basic bash and kill them. Okay, so like I said, if if this doesn't kill them, you just made them vulnerable for 2 seconds. You have a whole 2 seconds to hit them with a bash or two to get the kill. So like I said, guys, that is kind of like the burst setup. Now down here, we increase your maximum fury by 3. Again, I just did this just so I could get the heal for 9% of your maximum life for each 100 fury spent. Again, guys, you're going to be spending fury like crazy. This is just a way to get that passive heal. And like I said, right here, where is it? Your shouts heal you for 3% of your maximum life. So while you're keeping this up for 6 seconds, you're healing 18% of your health back. So you have an 18% heal going off every 25 seconds, and then every 100 fury you spend, you're getting 9% back. So you're potentially getting back within a 30-second period worth of time. You're looking at what would that 27% of your maximum health. So you could heal 50% of your max HP like within like a minute and 10 seconds. So guys, like I said, like this class is not going to die. Like you are not going to die as Barbarian. Like if you know what you're doing, you are going to be a menace to society and everybody's going to hate you. Now for the ultimate, went with Wrath of the Berserker. Again, I just think this ultimate compared to the other two is going to be very good because all the things that are happening right here you are doing. You know, it's a CC. You're going to gain Berserk. You're going to gain Unstoppable. So this is another opportunity to gain Unstoppable. And then right here, you get increased movement speed. And you get increased Fury regeneration. So again, you're getting regeneration from here. And you get regeneration from Rallying Cry, guys. You are never going to be out of resources. And then, while Wrath of the Berserker is active, every 50 Fury spent, increase the damage bonus by 25%. Again, guys, this is going to be so easy. Because when you pop this ultimate, right, you have 30% here, plus the 40, you have 70% resource regeneration, guys. That's a lot. And you could get rid of this if you want to. If you don't want to fortify and you want to like change it up, you could go here. Okay, that's 90% resource regeneration. Now that's if all this stacks. Now again, we have to see how this works in game because the game might take the higher regeneration value and use it like that. So like I said, we don't know. We're gonna have to do testing to really see it. And then for the passive, we went with Unbridled Rage. Again, we are trying to increase damage. I personally think with this setup, guys, and you have to remember, we have this much like resource regeneration, health regeneration, without legendary gear, without legendary like aspects and jewelry, without any gemstones, you know, without any paragon board. So guys, you have to think about it like we have this much at base. So this build is only going to get better when you start adding the legendaries, etc., and things like that. Again, guys, I hope you really did enjoy this video. I had a lot of fun making it for you guys. Again, this is just my opinion on Barbarian, from looking at the class and trying to pick the perks that would be ideal for a PvP situation. I believe these are some of the best picks. But remember, guys, this is just my opinion. The game is not out yet. We're still going to have to do testing. I will do testing and let you guys know what is the better choice actually in game, and I'll demonstrate to you guys in action each class in PvP. So again, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy it. Please feel free to subscribe, drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and like I said, go in the comment section down below and let me know if you liked it. Let me know what you agree or disagree with, and let me know if maybe I showed you guys something that you didn't see before. I will be continuing to make videos across these classes over the next few days. Tomorrow we are going to be doing the sorcerer, then the druid, and ending off with the necromancer. Again, guys, thank you so much for coming and watching, and as always, peace.